Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm in the Langdales again today and it is so far a lovely day. Sun, blue sky, some clouds, pretty cold but pretty perfect at the moment. Might get a bit windier as we head up, but I've got a good hike for you today. Lots of fun and interesting features to it. We're getting up higher and I'm pretty excited for the rest of the day and to show you where I'm heading. So I parked up at Old Dungeon Gill at the end of the Langdales and now heading on the sort of flat path to Stool End Farm and then up the band there, which you can just see in the distance. So now's a good time, I think, to check out the route. So this is a really good start to a hike. I do like a flat start to a hike, so you're not just immediately going steeply up. This kind of warms you up a little bit, gets the legs moving, gets the lungs working before you have to head up, which is coming up soon, but it's nice to have this little flat bit to walk in. So good start. You might have just seen the fighter jet coming over. That's quite a regular sight in the Lake District. Oops. Because they use this kind of area as training ground, and the sound is as loud as it hopefully sounds on camera. It is really loud when you hear it, so it can be a bit of a shock. So we're just heading up the band. It's getting a little bit steeper and rockier. Not too bad at the moment. Obviously I am out of breath as ever. Let me show you where we're heading up. That's the band. Just coming over here, and then we'll take a sort of right up to take the Climbers Traverse up to Bowfell. I've actually just had to take off a layer, which is a bit mad because it is cold, but the sun is quite strong now, so it's actually feeling quite warm in the sun. And I do, at the moment, throughout the last sort of wintry period, I've been setting out with 3 sort of thin layers on, which has been great, but 3 is too much for this this uphill bit in the sun. It's actually really good to kind of manage how much you sweat as you walk uphill, especially on a cold winter's day like today, and when it will be much colder at the top. So what you don't want to do is sweat a lot on the way up, get damp, and then as soon as the kind of wind chill and cold hits you at the top, it kind of chills you right down, and that's when it can be quite dangerous. So you obviously will sweat going uphill, but try and manage your layers so that you aren't sort of doing it too much. I actually love seeing these lines here on the rocks. Sometimes you can see this across like paths, and that's from crampons in the winter. Here they are again. You can see they're quite deeply etched in some places. So this part is a bit rocky, a little bit scrambly, but very straightforward. But you do need probably one hand. It's got a bit colder now again because I'm out of the sun. But I'm resisting the temptation to put on my other jacket again. Probably won't take long though. We've hit about 450 metres now, and there are little patches of ice forming, and it has noticeably got a lot colder here. Still braving it out without my extra top on. Just the Bowfell now coming into view. So the wind is coming from the west today, which is kind of that direction. So at the moment I've been pretty protected, I think, by the band just on this side of me. It might get a little stronger once we sort of come over it and head up towards Bowfell, although I might get a bit of protection from Bowfell, which would be nice. So just up here is the top of the band, but we're keeping on the path here and heading up, and sort of just over this kind of mound here and round the corner we should be turning off onto the kind of fork, so we take the right hand path up to the Climbers Traverse, which I am quite excited about. Okay, I've come around the corner, and as predicted, the wind has picked up a little bit. It's still all right in the sun, but I've put on another layer again because there is a real bite to the wind here. And I've got three other layers in my bag as well. So I think I've got enough. I'm hoping to do sunset today on this hike. All depends on my timings. And if I can time it right, because I don't want to be hanging out on the tops for too long. I set off about 11, and I think sunset is about 5 to 5 today, around that. Yeah, we'll see how I go. But the aim is, I think I can actually show you the route a bit now, because we can see Bowfell here. So the aim is to take the path just coming up here, which sort of skirts around the north face of Bowfell there, along the Climbers Traverse it's called. And then we go up next to the Great Slab, which is, as the name suggests, a huge slab of rock. And then we come off Bowfell Summit here, down to Three Tarns, and then up across over to Crinkle Crags. And then, because I'm doing sunset, I'm not going to go the traditional route, which is off that way. I'm actually going to come back on myself, down to Three Tarns, and then down the path here, back down the band. Basically, because of sunset, I kind of want to be at, I think, Three Tarns, hopefully, for sunset or around then, which would, give me hopefully a nice view out west. And also, I don't really want to be doing anything unfamiliar in the dark, so this route I really know well. I've got a head torch with me, of course, but yeah, I wanted to be a bit safer on a winter's day. This view now of Bowfell is so lovely. You've got the sun, got blue sky behind it. How gorgeous is that? And it's gone still, which is always a bonus in my book. And look at Crinkle Crags there. Oh. I get some sort of weird joy out of cracking ice. So it's not amazingly obvious with all the ice around here, and bogginess usually, but it's actually quite nice today because it's iced over. But the main path just heads up here, and we actually head off round here, so on the right fork. So this bit up to the beginning of the climbers traverse is a bit steeper and rockier, but there's still quite a good path. I have got microspikes with me today. I haven't put them on yet. There is patches of snow, patches of ice on the path, but lots of patches at the moment without. So I don't think I need them just yet, but we'll see when we get a bit higher. Okay, we're heading up the last rocky bit before we turn off. Whoop. So before I hit the climbers traverse, I thought I'd just show you what I'm putting on, because the climbers traverse is on the north face of Bowfell, where the sun doesn't hit, so it's getting colder, it's getting snowier. So I've just put on my thinner down layer, and I wanted to show you these amazing gloves I bought. They're quite pricey, but I've been trying to find good gloves for years of hiking. I own so many pairs of gloves and have owned over the years to try and find the perfect pair, and I've never found them. So what I found recently, and this is thanks to somebody off Instagram actually, the Little and the Lakes, Tamsin, she recommended these, which are Hestra gloves. And they basically, you can put liner gloves on underneath. I've just got this cheapo pair from Decathlon, which have touchscreen on them. And then you can put these gloves on, and they've basically got a mitt, wrong hand, trying to put it on the wrong hand. They've basically got a mitt covering. So you can kind of flap this over and put this over your fingers and over your thumb. But also, if you need to use it, they go back and there's a magnet there, and then you've got your hands free and you can use your phone, camera, etc. And then also Tamsin recommended, which is amazing, is some foot warmers that are sticky, and you can actually stick them on the inside of the glove. So I'm going to do that now, just in preparation for the cold weather at the top. So I do have some non-disposable hand warmers, which are better for the environment, etc. So I do tend to use them. But on a really cold day like this, I found this is a pretty good solution. So I'm going to slide this in to the top of the mitt there and sort of stick it down there, and do the same with the other one. You can see it just sort of fits in there. And there we have it. So I just stopped again to put on my microspikes, because the path has got quite snowy here and a bit frosty. So, change of plan. I attempted to go along here, the climbers traverse, and I just got to about here, and there's no path basically trodden out in the snow. There's actually quite a lot of snow. I think this must be quite fresh, maybe in the last day or two, and nobody's been up here. And unfortunately, I only have my microspikes with me, and they aren't good enough for this, because it's, as you can see down there, it's quite a sort of steep drop. So without my ice axe and my crampons to kind of go on this kind of path, which has got the drop off at, I don't feel safe enough, and I could slip basically at any point with microspikes on, because they're just not, they don't have long enough teeth on them to really grip into the snow and the iciness of the snowy path. So climbers traverse is not for today. I've just backtracked this little bit here, and instead I'm just going to head up on this little shortcut here amongst the rocks to get to the top of Bowfell. It's a nice steep way up Bowfell. Just at the side here. So we've just emerged at the top, and there's the summit of Bowfell. Okay, I'm back on the main path again. Bit disappointed not to do Climbers Traverse, because I do love that route, but you've got to be safe. That could have got quite sketchy. So the safest thing to do was to turn back and not try it without crampons and ice axe. And this is pretty stunning. This view coming up Bowfell, so nice. Quite hard work though, but luckily people have made tracks here, unlike on the Climbers Traverse. So yeah, with tracks it is so much easier to walk in the snow. So we're just heading up the rocky bit for the summit. I think it might be windy up there, judging by the clouds moving fast overhead. Wow. Here we are on the summit of Bowfell. I usually touch the top, so I'm not sure which exactly here is the top, but this will do. There it is. Wow. Look at this view. Stunning. Got amazing 360 views here. This is why I love Bowfell. So over here we've got the Helvellyn range. Looks like it's just about getting out of the cloud. Over towards Seat Sandal, Fairfield, Kentmere Horseshoe, just sort of over here. Swinging around, Piker Blisco, Crinkle Crags, which we're hopefully heading up next. Oh, Weatherlam in the middle. And then round you can see Oxendale Beck just glinting there. It's gorgeous down the valley. And then over here we have quite a lot of clouds sitting over the whole Scarfall range, which looks pretty cool. And then over here we have Espike. There's just so much you can see here. I mean, even the distance there, don't know if you can see it, but here's Skidder and the Skidder range there. So these views are just amazing. Oh, look at it. Look at the cloud here. So gorgeous. It's a little bit cold and windy on here. So I'm just going to drop down off the summit and see if I can get my drone up. Now I don't know how successful that will be because it is a bit windy. But I'm going to try. But yeah, need to push on. The snow actually makes it slower going, and I didn't expect this amount of snow because I actually came up here maybe a week and a half ago and it was not snowy. I know that shouldn't mean that it's not snowy now, But yeah, I did expect a bit, but didn't know it had snowed quite this much. Let's maybe get into the sun a bit, just to keep warm. There we go. Right, where's out of the wind a little bit. Maybe I'll just drop down. The wind's coming kind of from the west. I'll drop just down the other side of Bowfell and pick up the same path I came on. The snow is so crispy. Here we go. It's about 2:40 p.m. now, and like I said, sunset is about, I think, maybe 4:53. 2 hours 20 minutes until sunset. There'll be a little bit of light sort of left after that, but timing wise I think I am okay so far to make it to Crinkle Crags and then back to Three Tarns hopefully, but let's see how we go. The snow is quite a lot softer here where the sun's been on it, because we're sort of southeast facing here. So it's a bit slidier, I suppose, on the way down. I love the look of Crinkle Crags there, it just looks so good. We'll see how I go getting up to it in time. Hoping we do have time to do it. But aim is to be down here for sunset. I don't know if you can make it out on the video, but this is Three Tarns and you can actually see they're all frozen over, all three of them there, which looks really cool from up here. Okay, come on, let's get on. You can go quite fast in places and then suddenly your leg goes down a long way. Which does slow you down somewhat. But yeah, it's pretty quick going. The wind has picked up slightly now, or I can feel it a bit more now that I'm not getting protected by Bowfell. Still get little pockets of calmness, which is nice. I have to say that Crinkle Crags looks a bit intimidating in terms of like quite a long way up again. Come down quite a way from Bowfell, down to Three Tarns, and now it's back up again. But I often find things look a bit worse than they actually are, especially in terms of sort of steepness generally. So hopefully it's not too bad. And here we are at Three Tarns. Oh, how gorgeous is that? All iced over. Wow. actually quite easy to come off the path here. So I just took a little detour because there isn't really a path in the snow. Not a trodden one. I can see some footprints in some places, but I had to check my OS. Sorry, I'll start again. I had to check my OS map on my phone in the app, see roughly where the path was, so I don't want to go too far off it. I mean, conditions are really nice at the moment and I can see where I'm going, but yeah, I'd like to keep to the path. So the cloud is starting to come in from the west over there, if you can see. So all that cloud that was sitting on Scarfell Pike and the Scarfell Range seems to be heading our way now. And it looks cloudy up above me. But I'm still hoping for a nice sunset, or at least some nice colours. There are some nice colours now, to be honest. I don't know if you can see all the way up there, but it has been a gorgeous day so far, so I can't complain. Right, onwards and upwards. It's actually mad how little footprints there are here. The snow must have come in last night, I'm thinking now. So there's really not much of a path to follow. Ah, hello sun. Oh, isn't that lovely? Okay, I've just come down a little bit and then up another little bit. Nice cairns marking my way again. Isn't that gorgeous, the cloud hanging over there? That's over the sort of Scarfell Range. Wow. Ah. We are getting there. It's quite hard work. A lot of ups and downs. Here we are on the summit, Long Top. It's pretty windy now up here, quite chilly. Wow, that was quite tough work. So I've actually got quite a funny story about Crinkle Crags. I did this hike in 2018 where I was going to do like a point-to-point kind of hike over about 4 days. First day from Old Dungeon Gill Hotel, up Pike of Blisco, Crinkle Crags, Bowfell, down to the valley, down to Borrowdale to stay at the youth hostel there. And it was the most dreadful, awful weather. It was in August, but it was so bad, like worse than predicted. Rain, wind. We had to like bail at some point, like down. I don't think we got exactly where we wanted to. I think we were going to go to West Pike, but we didn't. Drop down to the Tarn, dropped down into the valley and couldn't actually cross the river down there, which was the route into Borrowdale, so I had to backtrack back up, and then back around on the Cumbria Way, and it ended up being like a 20-mile day. It was mad. But we basically did Crinkle Crags, and I was thinking about this the other day, and I sort of had a look at my route on Strava, and I actually realised I'm quite a stickler for like touching the top of the hill. That's my kind of official, yeah, I've done the summit. And I realised I hadn't actually got onto the top of Crinkle Crags there. I'd kind of come around the summit, but hadn't touched the top, hadn't got right onto the summit. So even though I had actually counted that as part of my 196, I hadn't done it officially. So when I said I'd done 196 Wainwrights last time, I was lying. It was 195. But as of now, it's 196 with Crinkle Crags. Now I've done that. So I'm glad I realised that before I kind of officially finished the Wainwrights, and didn't realise that after I thought I'd finished them. Don't know what you think. If you think you have to touch the top of a hill to sort of count it, or if you can just, you know, get to the sort of top of it and that counts. But anyway, I like to touch the top. Right, I am going to start, I think, heading back down to Three Tarns. Takes a little bit longer in the snow. We've got about an hour, I think, to sunset. So let's head down. The clag is just sweeping in now. Wow, look. There's Crinkle Crags now behind me. That has come in quite quickly. Hoping it still passes by, so I do get a bit of a sunset. I suppose let's see what happens, eh? Oh, there are gaps in it, look. Fingers crossed. It's pretty soul destroying having to go up again. So we go up there and then drop down to Three Tarns. There's glimpses of the view in the distance, but yeah, it's gone very claggy. Look how dark it's got with the clag. No more nice sun. This clag central. That's where we're heading. So now it's pretty much a white out. I can't see that far in front. There's a little bit of hail and snow around. Kind of weirdly still here. It's a little bit of wind, but all the clag and the stillness, and I haven't actually seen a person, one single person, since Bowfell a little while back. So it can make it a little eerie almost. But I'm actually really enjoying it. I mean, still hoping for some sort of view when I get to Three Tarns. That is basically not going to happen because we're getting there soon. Oh well. My leg sunk. Oh, this is so lovely. Actually really enjoying it. Okay, we're back at Three Tarns. What a difference an hour or two make, eh? So it doesn't look like this is going to clear anytime soon. Quite thick, Can't see any breaks in it. So, don't want to drop now, just in case, but maybe I'm better to drop a little bit. Just to see if I can get under the clouds. So if they're sort of drifting over the valley, maybe I'll get under and see a bit of colour on the way down. And I did also just think that rock was a person. So maybe I'm a little tired. So it might be a good time to go down. I think I'm going to stop for a quick snack here. I haven't eaten that much all day. A couple of biscuits, a protein bar whilst I'm hiking. It's a bit hard to eat a lot when I feel like when I'm on a winter hike, because I don't want to stop because it's cold. And so it's kind of hard to eat whilst you're walking. But I'm going to have a quick bite here, and I've got a really random snack. Let me show you. It's these Marmite cheese clouds from M&S. I don't know. I know people probably hate Marmite, so you know, a bit controversial, but I really struggle to find savoury snacks for hiking that aren't nuts. So I have tried these recently and I really like them. They're just little crunchy, cheesy, Marmite-y snacks. I haven't had them on a hike though, so I'm going to give them a whirl. But let me know in the comments what you like to snack on, or if you've got any ideas for savoury snacks. I used to, well, in summer I make sandwiches generally, or bagels or something, but like I said, it's just finding it hard to eat properly in winter because you don't really stop. So yeah, give me ideas for snacks that aren't biscuits, protein bars, things like that. So the clouds have just parted slightly to show me this. Not much colour yet, so I'm going to head into that to see if I can see around the corner a little bit. Wow, it's just kind of sitting down there, and you can see now pikes have come out. It's looking much clearer this direction than it is behind me. That's up where I've just come from. Maybe we'll get a bit of sunset colour. I'm going to try and head just sort of back down there to see if I can see. And it has now cleared. So I don't know if we're going to get much colour though. I suppose the sun's setting, I think it's around now, maybe in a few minutes' time. And sometimes the colour comes up sort of after sunset. Oh, also seems to have cleared a little bit behind me. Typical. So the light is dropping a bit now. But we're getting a little bit of colour in the sky. Just over here. I'm now back on the path that I came up on, so just making my way around the band. It's not been a spectacular sunset. I mean, it did clear, so I've got to be grateful for that. So we're not in clag. There's some nice views still. The light is dropping, but there's a bit of colour in the clouds in the distance. Let me show you. Just a little bit. I love the shape of Pike Obelisko there. It just looks so triangular. Oh look, here it is. It's actually so peaceful and lovely. Like the light's fading a bit, but I haven't seen anyone since, like I said before, Bowfell, still no one. I'm all on my own, and the wind is quite low, it's not too bad. And it's just beautiful in the low light. Oh, look at that behind me. Can you see it? Let's get you closer. Wow. I should head down now, really. Just been faffing about, waiting to see if there's a bit of colour in the sky. There's a little bit, but not a huge show. I think a lot of the cloud was coming from the west and therefore blocking out the sun and the colour. Got a little way to go yet, so I'll keep pressing on. So before I finish the hike, I just wanted to say thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you thought of the hike if you've done it before. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm a little bit gutted I didn't get to do the Climbers Traverse. Climbers Traverse is actually a path. It doesn't sound that, but it's like a narrow path with a precipitous sort of drop down, and I think it's called the Climbers Traverse because climbers traverse it to go and climb some of the crags around there. But it is actually a path, and it is a hiker's path, and usually it would be okay. I suppose if people had already trodden on it, it might have been okay. So there was actually a path there, but there was been nobody since the snow, and without crampons and ice axe, any kind of slip because of the sort of slope of it would have been really dangerous because I wouldn't have been able to self-arrest. So I did the right thing, the sensible thing, turning around and just sort of heading up a more normal way. But I will have to show you the Climbers Traverse another time. Crinkle Crags, Bowfell, I love that hike. The snow was great, the clouds were really good today. So yeah, I had a great time. I hope you enjoy coming along with me. And once again, thank you for watching, I really appreciate it. And I will see you on the next hike. Goodbye.